right, welcome to Circle Pit Podcast. I am your host, Cole Fashana. Normally we'd start talking about who's sponsoring us and all that good shit, but there's been some trouble here at Circle Pit. Some asshole, I'm sure some of you have heard, stole from Jim Hill and Amplified Wax, and actually Caleb lost some shit as well. So I just want to talk about this real quick. Sorry to start on a negative note, but I think that everyone needs to know about it and keep an eye out for the stuff that we're about to read to you. But yeah, the people at Circle Pit were recording, basically Skylar and I. Someone came in either through an unlocked door, or I'd hate to think that it was a musician that came in to acquire work from Jimmy, or someone that was in the Circle Pit. I'd really hate to think that it was someone like that, but it could be. You never know. There's always random scumbags, and they hide fucking well. Anyway, so yeah, here's a list of shit that they stole. What was it, Skylar?
Got a Boss NS2 noise suppressor, a tone clamp compressor pedal, dark glass microtubes BK7, Radial Pro DI, a Rolls Stereo DI box, Sandsamp bass driver bass pedal, 3 guitars, bunch of cables, full tone OCD pedal, and a carbon copy MXR delay pedal.
Did more stuff come up missing? Did they add more shit to the list? They just
sure.
That seems like more than it was before.
Well, that's like everything combined.
Well, yeah, but like I thought before it was 6 pedals. That seems like more than 6 pedals.
That's a lot of stuff.
Regardless, it's fucking stupid. Like, you're a fucking prick. If you're listening to the show and you stole the stuff, you're an asshole, man. Stealing from someone that's working their fucking asses off to provide for their family. Like, Jimmy and Caleb are doing that all by themselves. Like, they don't have anyone fucking helping them out. Like, they work their asses off and they take their hard-earned money and like pump it into gear, and someone turns around and fucking steals from them. I hope if they catch that guy, they fucking break his hands. If I catch that fucker and I've been drinking, you're in trouble.
Chopping off some fingers.
I can't beat you with my fist. I'll fucking grab a bat. Anyway, it's just fucking stupid. It really bums me out that someone would actually steal from Jimmy. He's such a nice fucking guy. Nice dude. And always cuts people deals when they go in the studio. It's a beautiful studio. And basically, like, what we were told is, like, he doesn't think that it was us, but he wants to tighten up security before we can come back in there. So, like, right now we are doing this podcast from my front room. And it's tough, man. Like, we had the privilege of using all of his fucking really expensive gear. And now we're back to using a MacBook Pro that's from, like, 2009. Some microphones I pulled out of my garage, mic stands, and some cables that aren't all that great, which before we were using like the best of the best. It's like going from like a Rolls Royce to a fucking beat up Nissan 87 Sentra.
From Pro Tools to MacBook Pro.
Well, not MacBook Pro, that's just what it is. It's went from Pro Tools to we're using Audacity because that's, we're broke. We're doing this for free. We're doing it just, to give something back to the music scene and help bands out. Give them a chance to, like, talk about their music and for you guys to get to know them a little bit better. Chance for them to promote their upcoming shows. And it's always been a blast. Like, I have a great time doing this. It's so much fun. And if the fact that someone came in and took from us almost fucking shut it down. I almost said just fuck it, dude. But, I thought about it. And this is too much fun to give up. And even if it is here in my front room, we lost Amplified Wax for the time being. We're still going to keep doing this. So if you're listening, thank you very much. And if you're listening and you're the thief, we will fucking find you and cut your fingers off. Dick. Anyway, so I'm sorry to be all negative and shit to start the show out, but everyone needs to know what happened. If you have any leads, by the way, contact me via Facebook or Skylar or Jim Hill. His name is James Hill on Facebook, or Caleb Wrenchy. Ryan Levy, you can hit up any of us guys, and there will be, I know Levy will throw in fucking tons of tickets. Not tons, but he'll hook you up with some fucking tickets, man. I guarantee that, and like, I'll even take money personally out of my pocket and throw some cash down your way. Like, I'll throw in $100 if we can get this gear back to Jim Hill. It's just bullshit. It's serious fucking bullshit. So on to the good stuff, like the delicious beer of River City Brewing. I'd like to thank them for staying with us and giving us delicious beer to drink through the podcast. Emily, you are awesome.
It's pretty delicious.
It's fucking so good. So fucking good. The Huckleberry, it's a little sweeter, but, I don't mind it. Like, I can do, like, one. But, like, the Girlfriend Golden Ale is probably one of my favorite beers of all time. It's delicious. It's great. It's got only 5% alcohol, so you can sip on it all night and not get too fucking stupid. They got the River City Red, which is delicious. They got the Vanilla Bourbon Stout, which is great. I love stout. It's amazing. Got Heritage English Pale Ale, Afternoon IPA, Riverkeeper IPA, Clock Tower Imperial IPA, which is 8.7%, which will fuck you up. You drink a couple of those, dude, dunzo. It's delicious. It's smooth. It's got a nice little bite at the end, but it's not too bad. And also, they do the infused beer. They do that every Thursday, Friday, and I believe Saturday. They'll take beers like their Clock Tower Imperial IPA, and they'll infuse it with like lemon, grapefruit, and orange. And it takes that bitter Imperial IPA, which if you drink fucking IPAs, you know, and there's a little bit of bite to it. Like someone that drinks like a lager, like if you're drinking PBR and you go to an IPA, it's going to taste like fucking toilet water. But if you drink an IPA and like then you try it with this infused, it's unbelievable. Like it takes away that bite and just makes it sweet, like a glass of orange juice, like what's it called, when a brass monkey. Yeah, but like not Old
like
English.
It's
so good. Not a brass monkey. Like Old English is garbage. But like, when they take the clock tower and they infuse it with the lemon and grapefruit, it's great. It's great. But yeah, it's delicious. Thank you very much for hanging out and giving the podcast some booze. We appreciate it. Yeah, that's the only sponsor we got left. I still like to give a shout out to Jimmy because he was nice enough to let us go in there until that fucking prick stole from him. So if you're looking to get some of your shit recorded, hit up Jim Hill or go to amplifywax.com and check him out, man. It's a great studio. He's a good dude. And
did a great job.
Does a great job. It's the best, in my personal opinion, I think it's the best recording studio in Spokane, if not the Northwest. So, I mean, check him out. Give him a chance. Just hit him up, man. Talk to him. See if you guys can come to an agreement. Also, Caleb Bernstein Studio B has a little bit cheaper rates. Still does great quality work. You probably have to bring your own fucking pedals, though, because some dick stole them. I tried to make it funny. It wasn't too funny. All right. Scatterbox in the studio. What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going? You guys have a parrot in your studio with a River City Brewing T-shirt on. How the fuck did you pull that off?
She loves to drink.
That's right.
She actually really does. She'll drink beer. I won't give her a lot because it's probably inhumane, but I'll hold like a cap full of beer and she'll drink that. Like I even gave her like a shot of fucking rum. She drinks milk. She loves cheese. Anything. She'll eat chicken. She loves chicken. She loves steak. She doesn't eat shrimp. She hates pineapple. Fruit, she'll eat that. And peanuts, of course, and stuff like that.
Fuck, that rules.
I know, right? And she's a bitch, too, so don't try and touch her. She will shred your finger.
Bird's like an anomaly.
You've been bit. Joe, have you been bit? No, not yet? Touch her. Show him. No, she's a cool bird. She loves me. She loves my girlfriend. Other than that, she's a mean bitch. But yeah, thanks for side story already. Here we go.
Right on.
Good start. Well, thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah.
How you doing?
That's great. There we go. Well, so, go ahead and...
That's it. I'm done.
Yeah. This isn't professional! Where's my Skittles? Go ahead and say your names and like what instruments you play. We'll go from there.
I'm Ryan. I play bass.
My name is Scott. I play drums.
Okay, so we got the strings in tonight. Seems like we're getting a lot of just guitar players and like bass players coming in. Like not a lot of lead singers come in.
Yeah, Ryan, get the fuck out of here.
Do you sing and play bass?
I sing a little bit.
You sing a little
Not
bit.
much.
You're gonna have to get a little bit closer.
A little bit, not
little
much.
bit. Well, that's cool. My bass player does all the backup singing. It's nice. Takes a little bit of load off me. Gives the vocalist a chance to breathe. Mm-hmm. Get that one. So we prepared some questions here. How long have you guys been doing this band?
Oh, geez, we started in February 2001, so 14 years, going on 15 years. 13?
Yeah.
I'm not good at math.
That's is it like the same group of guys or?
Yeah. 3 of us have been constant since the beginning.
Are you original?
Yeah. Me and Scott and
Oh, nice. Both of you.
and my brother Tom. We're
Is he the
all
drummer?
Singer.
Singer. Okay. You're the drummer? Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were. I'm sorry. I thought you said guitar.
Nope, drums.
No? Okay. Show us how
No,
well I
yeah.
listen.
Well, we started as a 4-piece.
Okay.
It was Ryan, Tom, and myself. I was actually the last member to join. We had like the first guitarist we had, a guy named Dan. These guys were looking for a drummer, and I've known these two. I've known Ryan and Tom since like elementary school, like 4th or 5th grade or something, right? Or was it middle school? Or I can't remember. Yeah, 5th grade. And we were neighbors. My parents lived like 2 blocks from his parents, and rode the same bus and shit. And yeah, like years later, we graduated high school. I was going to NIC. I was working at Hastings and Coeur d'Alene, and this guy who did stocking in the back room was like, "Yeah, I know this dude," because I had mentioned something about a drum set that I'd picked up, and he goes, "Hey, I know this guy. You should call him. He's trying to start a punk band." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I call him. Fucking Ryan answers the phone. He's sitting on his computer at home. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, "Is Tom there?" And put 2 and 2 together. And then we got together and practiced less than a week later. We wrote 2 songs in the first. Well, they kind of already had like ideas like finished, and then we got together and had 2 songs like finished and done at the end of the first practice. And then from there on, shit, that was it. We were practicing like every day, like 4 hours a day. For a long time because we were fucking bored, had shitty jobs and didn't want to do them.
And back when it was easy to practice 4 hours a day, it's a little tougher now as you get older.
Yep. Kids and wives.
You guys all married or?
I am. I think me, Justin, and Mark are the married ones of the bunch.
I am not. Tom is not. Yeah.
Girlfriends or?
Yeah.
Girlfriends?
Yeah, girlfriends. Ironically enough, Tom and I are the ones who have children. That makes any sense. But that's soon to change, pretty soon. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm glad someone caught on to that.
Wink, wink.
This is amazing River City Brewing beer, by the way. I must add. I got to add to that.
Yeah. Thank you, Emily.
The
This
bird-
is awesome.
Bird has great taste.
She's throwing up the devil horns. She is actually the devil.
She is.
It looks like that hand from Scary Movie 2, Chris Elliott.
Take my good hand.
He's the strong.
So you guys just released a new album. Was it released or you recorded it or?
It's out. Yeah.
It's out. It's out. How long's it been out?
Going on 2 weeks.
Going on 2
Yeah.
weeks. Nice, dude.
Yep.
Took 3 years to finish.
So it's the masterpiece.
It's our fucking spaghetti incident or whatever the fuck it's called. Or,
Uh,
Chinese democracy. That's it. It's our Chinese democracy. Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, but
Oh.
it's probably a lot better than Chinese democracy.
The spaghetti incident. That's Motley Crue, where the chick was sucking some. Was it Tommy Lee's dick and threw up on him? And they made a bet like who could go the longest without showering. Right? Am I the right story?
I have
And so
no
they're
idea.
Yeah, they went like a long time. Oh, yeah, that's what happened. They were making the bet to see who'd go longer, and they're fucking chicks. It was Motley Crue like every night, and she goes down on him, dude, and it just smells like rotten tuna. So she barfs spaghetti all over his dick.
Oh, that's disgusting.
That's the spaghetti incident. Actually,
Is that from the Dirt, the book?
I think that's from the Dirt because I read Heroin Diaries. And I don't remember that one.
So the Dirt, yeah. Somebody loaned me that book, and that was like that's the first book I literally read cover to cover in one day. I couldn't fucking put it down. I was blown away at how those fucking people are. Those guys
I don't know how
are demons.
they're fucking alive.
They should be dead like 20 times over.
Oh yeah.
Reading the shit that's in there. Like Mick Mars is like, they might as well just tie strings to him at this point.
You
so
should check
fucking
out
old.
the Heroin Diaries. That's like I think it's like 2 years. It's either a calendar year, or 2 years of Motley Crue, or not Motley Crue, excuse me,
Nikki
Nikki
Sixx. Yeah.
Nikki Sixx doing like his daily diaries, and he's like suicidal. He claims that Mexicans and midgets are in his backyard because he's strung out on heroin and cocaine, and he's hiding in his closet. And he keeps calling like the security company, like, and sending cops to that. Like, they're out there again, come get him. And there's no one out there. He's just high as a kite, and so he's countering the heroin with cocaine,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
vice versa. And he's going for days, and he's talks about hopping on his Harley and driving down like Sunset Boulevard, just wasted on heroin and cocaine. Like didn't remember leaving, but he like wakes up and he's on the road and shit like that. And he's going from the strip club and coming home from tour, and there's like fucking $250,000 in checks in his mailbox.
Oh my
Back
God.
when people used to write checks.
Not bad for a guy from Southern Idaho, right?
He's from Southern Idaho.
Yeah, he's from.
That's right, he is. Yeah.
Fuck, he's from. Where's he from? I don't know.
Is it Preston? Or...
It's like Osborne. No, he's from somewhere near Twin Falls.
I think you
Somewhere
might be.
outside of Twin Falls.
That's-
Like he's pretty close.
That's
to,
awesome.
Yeah. Right there with Sacagawea.
Holding it down. So back to the album. Tell us a little bit about it.
Want to take this one?
No.
I was gonna.
It's what we've been shooting for the last 13 years. I think we're all in agreement band wise that it's exactly what we wanted. I mean, I think it defines our style, our music, our sound perfectly. Yeah, it took a little while to do, but we wanted to make sure it was good and polished, and it turned out really good. I really, really like it.
It's better to take your time and actually produce something that's fucking awesome that you love than
It
just
is.
pump out some bullshit album that you're gonna be embarrassed of in 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, and we've
Like
run,
Enemies.
yeah, we've rushed through stuff before, and it didn't turn. I mean, it was good, but it's not as good as it could have been. Like, it's nice to, record everything, then put it in your CD player and listen to it for a couple months, figure out what you need to do,
Yeah, that's
and then go back and change it.
It's a nice change. The cool thing about this one is that the guy. So the last record we did, which was our 5th studio record, it was called Enemies. That was the second album that we did on a label out of Seattle called Click Pop. We had a 2-album deal with them for a while. Shitty thing about that was that we had all these songs finished, and we spent a really long time writing them all and like getting them down. And then like we got into a studio in Seattle with a guy who this guy had worked with everybody. He was like some big ass producer, and the label like paid for him and all this shit. And we get in there, and we had 3 days. And we had 3 days to get in there and out, and that's why we did all this prep work to not waste any time.
Yeah.
And we get there, and we did all our tracking. We had a blast. Like, it was a lot of fun to go there. And then we get back, and then the guy who, ironically enough, is the guy who produced this album, one of the engineers. He was kind of taking a while to get it mixed and mastered and stuff. And I mean, which is good because you want the same guy to he kind of knew what he was
worked with you
working on.
before. Yeah,
and he'd make it sound right, and the label got a little impatient, and they pulled the masters from him. They showed up at his house. They showed up on his fucking doorstep. They drove up from Bellingham.
Jesus.
They drove down to Seattle, showed up at his house and pulled the masters. And they went to their own studio that they own in Bellingham, and they mixed and mastered it there. And they would mail us copies to listen to. And so much shit got lost in translation. Not their fault, right?
Yeah.
Not really our fault. Not really anybody's fault. Just by the time it was finished, we were like, "Yeah, go for it, press it," and we pressed it. and We got it back, and the mix is muddy. It just sounds like
horrible.
like shit. It was like, I mean, you can tell the songs are there, and if we had just taken our time, it would have turned out decent. And this record is a complete 180. Like we said, no, we're not gonna fucking no rushing it this time. And luckily, the guy who produced this album, his name's Nick. He had a studio in Seattle, too. He dismounted the whole thing. He dismantled the whole deal, loaded it up in his car, and brought it to us. And we did all our tracking at home.
Wow.
Which was really cool. I mean, that's hence why it took so long. But it was really nice to be able to just, kind of show up whenever and just do what you do. And then go home and, go to work the next morning and then go record a little more and all that. So, yeah, it was really nice. It was a big change.
It's what a CD should look like. I mean, I've attempted to record a couple of CDs, and I always end up on burnt disc and paper little sleeves with not magic marker, but Sharpie right on. Like, oh, this is our song. Yeah, this looks great, man. It's beautiful.
Thanks, man. Our first 2 CDs were I think the first 3 albums we did were they were burned discs.
Yeah.
We'd order bulk and get a rubber stamp made with permanent ink and stamp every disc face, and then
We'd get like the program you can run through your computer and print out the labels.
Yeah.
We take them to Kinko's and like put our face on it or something. You know?
One thing I was thinking about doing when we released an album, my band, one of my old bands, they had the towers that'll burn 10 CDs at once. Have you seen those?
We almost bought one of those.
Ah.
We were like, "Fuck, dude, we're gonna be burning CDs forever."
Yeah. I still have probably like 200, 250 CDs in my garage that we never touched. And no one burns CDs anymore. It's all iPod or phone or fucking iTunes. If you have money and can actually afford to buy music. But hey, let's check out a song from the album.
Cool.
Which one do you want to check out?
Let's do
Surprise us.
yeah.
I don't know.
How about Terror Panic Run?
Yeah, let's
Sure.
do that one.
All right, cool. Let's check it out.
That sounded so good.
Sounds great.
That was awesome.
That was beautiful. Really love the music. That's an inside joke. I was telling them when we first started doing the podcast, we weren't able to actually play the music, so we just kind of faked that we listened to the songs. But we actually got to listen to that one. So that's Terror Panic Run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, so tell us about that song a little bit. Like, what's it about? And I know you guys did do the lyrics.
I think Tom wrote the lyrics for that one, so I'm not really sure.
I think it's about all the fear mongering going on right now, and everybody's worried about something. Everything's worst case scenario.
Yeah,
we're all gonna die. Everything's coming. Everybody's against you, and
what they call doomsday sayers.
And they are.
Yeah. People putting bomb shelters in their basements and saving. My buddy does that. He fucking has 2 years of food saved up because he's dead set that the Chinese are going to invade, which I don't think they will. But if they do, I'm going to his house.
Eating all that food in 2 days.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You need twice as much as you put on my plate.
That's not going to be enough.
Yeah, it's a fucking good song. Sounds great, man.
Thank you.
Mastering's spot on. So, you guys do touring, right? You guys have been doing some tours.
We haven't in quite a while. We do want to do one probably next year, springtime.
Yeah, when it warms up.
What I'd like to shoot for.
Yeah, I don't think I think the last tour we did was 2008. I think it was 2008, 2009. So it's been a while. I mean, I like Tom. We pretty much stopped touring right around the time before. I think it was right after the Enemies record came out, because Mark had just joined the band, and I think he played on that record. So we toured right before that album came out. We did half the U.S. in 2 weeks or some shit. We did some huge, ridiculous circle where we started off, first date was Spokane, and we played a show in Coeur d'Alene to kind of make it look like we'd added a couple dates to it, and then like Missoula, and then kind of made our way through the Midwest and went to Chicago, and then circled around and all that shit. But yeah, it's been a while. Tom, our singer, like he had his daughter like shortly after, so we kind of had to take a break from that, and then
we took like 2.5 years off.
yeah, we didn't do anything for like 2 years,
Like,
and then we
still practicing, or just
no.
Not really. Like Mark moved to Texas for about a year. I was getting married. Tom was having a kid. Scott had a kid. I mean, it was all just taking time off to get
Grown up
all
shit.
of our grown up, get our lives together.
Then we got back together and started writing the Enemies record, and then that came out, and then right after that, Sean, we couldn't tour on that record because Sean, our guitarist, decided to go to school down in Florida for like airplane mechanic stuff, and now he works for Boeing. Like they offered him a job like right when he finished, so that's when we got Justin, the guy who's playing guitar on this record, and this is like his first record with us.
so on the tour that you guys went on in 2008. Like, what's some crazy tour stories that you can share with your fans?
I remember we were playing at Fat Tuesdays once. The second Fat Tuesdays was downtown.
On Brown.
Yeah. And this was before Sean was in the band. I think we were playing with Zeke. And I was in the bathroom, and somehow Sean got a plunger, and I was taking a piss, and Sean was like, "Ryan, turn around." And I turned around, and he had the plunger right in my face. And it was fucking horrible. It was disgusting. Why I didn't beat his ass, I don't know.
Well, bad enough to have a fucking plunger in your face, but a plunger from that place, what's it called? Fat Tuesdays? Oh, that was a shithole. There's like slime everywhere.
But anyways, that was before we even invited him, like asked him to play in the band. And after he was in the band on our first tour with him, we were in Vegas. And I can't remember what hotel it was at. It was one of those hotels. I can't really remember much from that night. Little Sean Size New York or Little New York.
Yeah.
And there's a partial payback for what he did. He was in the bathroom stall, and I used
Dropping the kids off at the pool.
to do some. I don't know what he was doing
I
in there.
remember this. Yeah.
And they've got those big ass ashtrays in the bathroom, like the black,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
They are. What's
With the kitty litter in it.
Yeah. So I took one of those and like over the top of the stall, and like I remember
Took the lid off.
everything going in, and it was just like a big cloud of like just dust and cigarette ash and smoke and shit. And Sean comes out just black head to toe.
Dude. Smells like your grandma's car.
I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell the story.
That was one of the funner moments
For you.
We'll say.
Not for Sean.
It was great for me. Yeah.
Yeah, we played. There's a couple. I can think of one where we played in Portland, and we played at a house party, and everybody crashed out. And the next morning, whoever lived there, one of the roommates that lived in this house had made like homemade cider and had it all bottled up. And it's like 7 a.m. Everyone's really hungover or had been drinking all night. We get woken up by being handed bottles of cider. Tom, and bottle rockets. We were shooting fireworks at each other inside the van to wake each other up. And Tom had been drinking. I think he woke up a little earlier than everyone, and he had already been like hammered by the time I woke up. And I go out, and he's got a full unopened bottle of cider, like in a normal beer bottle, and he's just holding it. And people are throwing like empty bottles at this building across the street that was unmarked and didn't have anything on it. It was just like and the house was like in a really like weird industrial area.
Yeah.
So everybody's like heaving bottles like up into the air and like breaking them and like throwing them at buildings and stuff. And Tom takes this unopened bottle of cider, heavy, and goes to try and throw it on the roof of this building, and it goes right. It doesn't go to the roof. He doesn't make it that far. It goes right through one of the windows of this office building.
Like a current office building?
Shatters the window, yeah. Yep, and it goes right in, and it's a building, and there's business going on in that place. It turns out that's the Portland DEA drug seizure office.
Shut the fuck up.
That's where they keep all the shit when they confiscate it. There's like a warehouse in the basement, and then the office is like what he threw it through. It was like a... But apparently they were really cool about it, and like they knew the people who lived in the house that we played at, and they just asked to like... they just asked for like to cover the cost of replacing the glass, and they were cool with it.
Lucky.
Yeah, and then I don't know, another show somewhere in, I want to say it was either California or Oregon. This is like the first tour we went on. We stayed with a friend. We played some show, and then he asked us if we wanted to crash at his place. And then we were sitting there, and he'd been drinking all night, and he just kind of goes, "Hey, you want to get a case and go drink under the overpass?" And we're like, "Sure, why not? Like, what the fuck else are we gonna do?"
Hang out with some homeless dudes.
Yeah, yeah. It was. It was southern. So it was Southern Oregon. It was more close to. It was like probably outside of Eugene or Corvallis or something. And so we go, and we're hanging out with our buddy Brandon and his buddy, a guy named Kai or whatever. And so it's like Chris, our old guitarist who lives in Chicago now, plays in another band called Nightcap. They're really good. And Tom and myself, and I can't remember. There's like 4 or 5 of us, and we're on, not under the overpass, but we're actually like on I-5. So we're like standing up. We went up the side and kind of walked up there, and we're drinking fucking whatever, some shitty beer, and throwing the cans at cars as they drive by, just being obnoxious, like pretending to jump in front of traffic, and like we're gonna, off ourselves or whatever, and cars would like slow down and swerve and all this shit, and like
it's on a freeway, no big deal.
yeah, and then and it's it's probably 2-3 in the morning, and Tom decides to drop his pants and start like trying to hitchhike. He puts his thumb out. There's just shit hanging out. Semi truck drives by, whatever, and honks at him, and then later on, after we've been up there for probably a good hour. Somebody pretends to jump in front of an unmarked cop car, and then the lights kick on, and we're like, oh, fuck. So we all are running down this hill that just turns out to be this, like, really thorny ivy patch. And all I remember seeing was, like, I'm running down the hill laughing my ass off, and Chris is in front of us, and he's got, like, this giant box of PBR. He trips and falls, and, like, beer cans are just, like, flying everywhere. He's, like, tuck and rolling, trying to save the beer, Yeah, like damaging his own self. Like his face was all cut up and shit, and like he was in pretty bad shape by the time we made it down to the bottom of the hill. And when we get down there, we made about 10 feet. And we're like making up this story, like we'll just tell him we came from the bar that way under the bridge, like past the trees over there, and we're just walking home. No big deal. It wasn't us. And there's a cop car waiting for us down there, too.
Boy.
And these 2 cops get out, and they're like, hey, so where are you guys coming from? And we're like, oh, yeah, we just came from this bar back this way, and it's cool. We shut it down. And they go, that's funny, because that's where Eugene ends. There's nothing out there. There's just fucking woods. And we're like, oh, great. So we're sitting there, and they go, all right, so where'd you guys really come from? And we're like, oh, nothing. We're just hanging out. What are you talking about? And they go, all right, well, so you could either tell us, like, where you're coming from, or we're going to take all you to jail, and we're kind of standing there, so we hand him IDs and shit, and then he goes, well, so who's hitchhiking naked? And we all started, like, laughing, and and it was Tom. Yeah, that was me, sorry. So
At least he stood up and, bit the bullet there.
yeah, well, he did, because they threatened to take us to jail if no one fessed up. So he was just like, all right, that was me. And Chris at the time wasn't 21, so we were kind of like, oh, we don't all want to get stuck here. And luckily they were cool enough. I mean, it's a college town, so they were kind of like, we get shitheads like you guys all the time. Just don't come back. And they kind of they wrote a ticket, and then we just left, and we never came back. But
See the fuck out of Eugene.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they just told us to get lost, and it was kind of like, okay, well, this ticket, it's there's going to be a fine. We're never coming back here to come to court to we're not going to appear in court for this. Like, what do you want us to do? And they're like, basically, just stay out of Eugene or stay out of Oregon for 5 years, and it'll drop off, and nothing will ever happen. We're like, all right, but
Was that the Black Forest you guys played at down there?
We played a place called the Samurai Duck.
And
they
I've heard about that place.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty cool. Like we played with some band from Hawaii that had been on tour for like 4 months, and they looked like they were touring in like an RV, and they looked like they were in terrible shape, like they were having a hard time. Like,
Yeah.
And then like one other band called Monkey Torture that was like they were like a big deal down there, I guess, and that guy was pretty cool. But yeah, place is cool. They shut it down, I guess. So we were just the other band I play in, Moral Crux. We were just down in Eugene, and they was talking to a buddy there, and he said that they closed it down a couple of years ago. So kind of a bummer. It seemed like a cool place.
So what's the farthest you guys have actually played from home?
Furthest place we've played, we played in Chicago. I'd probably say if we're talking going east, that was the furthest we've ever played. Played in San Diego, like El Paso, like Vegas and shit. I don't know. We've done a handful of tours, and they've always been like our big thing was trying to coordinate like time off from work with each other. So and then book around that as well. So like. And the goal was always to just cover as much ground and play as many states as we could in like basically 10 to 14 days. And we'd get out in Atlas and just basically look at it and say, okay, 8 to 10 hour drives in between every city, and we'll just fucking do this.
Boom.
Yeah, and cover as many places as we can. And there were a couple occasions where we would actually score like two shows in one day, and in like the neighboring town, like we'd play, we'd do some like daytime thing, like an all ages deal in Oregon City, and then the next night play it, or like later that night play some bar show in Portland, or an outdoor skate park in San Diego, and then later that night, you're playing a bar show in San Diego. It just kind of depends, and But we just actually lined up a new booking agent, a guy named Jay, works for a company called Crawl Space Booking. They handle a lot of stuff, and they were gracious enough to take us on with the new album coming out and everything. They handle a lot of the touring for like MDC and I'm trying to think the Casualties and
Fuck yeah,
a
dude.
bunch of bands. So it's kind of cool to be a part of that. Let's see where.
I heard Guar. You just mentioned Guar. You probably didn't hear it. I only have 2 mics here because we're broke. But Ryan mentioned Guar. I heard they got a female vocalist now.
Are they still going to play?
I guess so.
Wow.
They're coming to Spokane.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got a female vocalist, and she's got big old fucking titties.
No,
Yeah.
I definitely have to go see him again.
At least double Ds. They're monsters.
Wow.
I think she has like spikes coming out of her, not her actual nipples, but her costume has like spikes coming out of her tits.
Yeah, I read somewhere online that like the boobs like shoot blood or whatever. Like,
Of course they do.
It just wouldn't be right without that.
So out of all the shows you played everywhere in the U.S., like what was your favorite venue, or like what was your favorite venue to play?
My favorite was it was actually a house in Portland. It was
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, Skylar,
don't do that right
Skylar,
now.
you can't pull up fucking girl with big ass tits and put them on a dude who's trying to tell the
I'm
story.
trying to think here. No, it was that story earlier that Scott was talking about throwing the bottle through the window.
Oh, the P-Town house.
The P-Town house, yeah. We'd played in this guy's basement, and it was, it was so much fun. It was like all of our friends would show up from Portland, and then some, and it was tiny. It was like probably the size of this upstairs.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. Like beer shit everywhere. Just yeah.
Good old fucking punk show.
It's just straight punk rock. It was great.
I really liked the Double Down Saloon in Las Vegas. That place was pretty great. I think that was the place that got voted one of the top 10 grossest dive bars in the nation by Maxim magazine.
I think Dave used to. My buddy, the guy actually just came downstairs.
Yeah.
He's from St. George, Utah, and he used to go play in Vegas with his old band. And he said it's like one of his favorite venues to play.
Yeah, it's great. It was awesome, and like a lot of the crowd that was there was actually. I mean, they'd never even heard of us, but there was still a ton of people came out. It was our first time playing Vegas, and they were awesome. Like everybody there was really nice. The opening band was really good, and they actually stuck around to watch all the bands, which was really cool.
Fuck yeah.
Because
It's nice when they actually do that. There's nothing that pisses me off
No
more
shit, right.
when your fans or the other band's fans they just get up well, come to watch you. No, support the whole fucking show. Because how are you gonna hear a new band if
Exactly.
you only
Yeah.
stick for one band? It's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Well, it's like why would you pay the money to see your friend's band when you could just go to their fucking practice
Yeah, that's true.
and then
Well, we
leave?
closed-
Like, why, okay, you want to fuck yourself out of $5-10 or whatever? It's like,
Yeah.
all right, cool, but
we
you know,
close practice, so that doesn't happen. I'm pretty strict on who I actually let come into the garage because we got ripped off a couple of years ago. Pretty sure I know who did it. It was my buddy had a pretty bad fucking drug problem, and what happened? My drummer bought a fucking boom pad, and we're like, oh, cool, sweet, dude, let's hook it up. And we had a backup PA, and we had all, yeah, like the boom, like what's it called? Like, I'm pretty sure it's called a boom pad. I don't know, but we got one, and I was like, oh, dude, we can hook it up to the backup PA because we had like a bunch of like extra guitars and heads and fucking shit like that sitting under this huge tarp in the garage so dust wouldn't get on it and beer and all that. And so I go to pull the sheet back, dude, and like there's hardly anything under there. Like, not just me, like I lost the bass that you loaned me when I first started playing bass. It was like a set, how much was that guitar? Like a $500 Yamaha. It was his 18th birthday gift. He's like, here, you can borrow it, you can play it. So I had it for years, and like it was always in safe hands. Like in my garage, there's like multiple fucking padlocks. I have a security system on it. I have a bulldog and a pit bull. I'm like, well, no one's gonna get in there. We went and played a show, I think in the Tri-Cities, and I let this piece of shit watch my house. And I come back, and he's fucking obviously just on something, just can barely keep his eyes open. And that's like, I didn't realize it at the time, but once the gear came up missing, it was like, it's fucking that guy. I know it was that guy. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I pull back the thing, and like we're missing like a QSC 2200 watt power amp, mixers, microphones, guitars, heads, you name it, dude. Bass gear. A pedal came up missing, but then it somehow came back in my garage. Because that was before. Well, the guy was still like kind of hanging out here and shit. And like my old drummer, Chris Mosley, walks in the garage. He's like, "Where's my kick pedal?" And so we're looking for it, and the dude's like helping us look for it. And we're looking everywhere in the garage. We're looking inside the house on the back porch, and then the guy finds it inside the garage. Oh, go, here it is, like sitting in the middle of the floor. Like, fuck you. So like, I'm pretty sure it was him, but I don't even know where I'm going with this story. Yes, drug addicts will steal from you and then help you look for it for hours.
Yeah, we've dealt with that too.
Oh,
Like,
dude,
that's-
nothing worse than a thief.
I can't fucking stand thieves.
Fucking
one of our 8 million guitarists we've had over the last 13 years, he had a similar deal. He came home one day and Chris, his Marshall half cab and like the whole thing was just fucking gone. We're like, oh, that's weird. And he's like, oh, I let him borrow it. It's cool. I'm like, you did? For like how long ago? He's like, oh, for a show the other day. And I'm like, really? 2 hours later, I'm down at Pawn 1, like 4 blocks from my house, looking just through DVDs and shit, like just wasting time.
Wow.
And there it is. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
the show at Pawn 1?
Yeah, I recognized it because there's a sticker on it, and there were these very distinct like liquid rings from where he'd put his beer.
Yeah.
And I look at it all the time, so I know exactly what it looks like. And I saw it, and I'm like, I talked to the Pawn 1 guy, and he's like, yeah, someone brought it in yesterday and put it into Hawk. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't belong to that guy. So I went back to the house. I was like, hey, you may want to come with me. We went back, and Chris walks in. He's like, yeah, that's my shit. Yeah, that's my shit. I'm going to fucking kill that motherfucker. Like, Chris had this, like, weird, he has this, like this Chicago accent, like this sound.
Chicago
Yeah, he's
Boomhauer.
like, he's the Midwest Boomhauer. He's from Blue Island. He lives in like probably the shittiest part of that Chicago area, next to like what, Cal Park. Cal Park was the really bad one. He was telling us like how horrible it is, and then the more you do the research, you realize like he lives in a really bad neighborhood.
You ever seen that show Shameless?
Yeah,
It's in Chicago. I think I don't know.
Yeah.
But dude, I love that show.
yeah.
It's dirtballs.
Yeah.
You're describing your friend, made me think of that show. I hated it at first. It was so grimy, and then like next episode. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, I've been watching TV for 6 hours.
Right.
Next season. That's great. So, hey, actually, Skylar went to one of your shows a while ago. He's going to tell you an awesome story, and I don't even think you guys know about this. So here's Skylar. Yeah. Hold on. Got to grab one of the 2 mics that we have and pass it off here. Skylar Newton.
Pretty DIY here. So 2006, Fat Tuesdays. No one's moving at the show. Your vocalist says, "This is why I fucking hate playing Spokane, because no one fucking dances." Ironically, I ripped my shirt that show, so.
Good for you.
You were like the one person he wasn't talking about. In the fucking crowd.
Our buddy stole your beer off your table. Like, just grabs the pitcher and starts drinking straight from it.
We probably deserved it.
It's like, they ain't gonna fucking miss it. Just powering it down, because that's what he does.
Well, glad somebody was having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
It was probably free beer anyway.
It's a good chance. It was Fat Tuesdays.
That's the best part of being in a band is like just they give you drink tickets
Drink tickets are so awesome.
all the time. Like you never have to pay for beer. It's pretty great.
I want to figure out how a way to like print those drink tickets and have more than just
Some
two.
of them are simple. They're like the roll of tickets you buy at like Big
Right.
Lots or something, you know?
Just have a bunch in the van.
Well, thanks for ripping us off. Appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. I think I probably drank some of your beer as well, because I was 20.
Well, hey, then we contributed to the delinquency of a minor, so that's cool.
Goes full circle.
It's,
'cause
it's,
we all do
exactly.
that.
It's nice to give back sometimes.
All right. Well, thank you, Skylar, for that awesome story.
It's weird to think that was 2006. It was a fucking long time. It's almost a decade ago. God,
I know that guy.
we're getting old.
He is a dirtball. So that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. He is a fucking scumbag. To this day, he hasn't changed. Yeah, he had like 3 shirts. Like we always tease him. Like they had the fucking holes in them. It looked like a T-shirt you'd see on a little Mexican boy in some fucking tiny village in small Mexico. I was like, dude, I had be like a mustard stain on there from like a week and a half ago. I'm like, dude, wash your fucking shoes. Like, well, only one, bro. Like, you're disgusting, dude. How do you get laid? But yeah, he's something else. He's not any better. He got worse. So change your shirt, kids. You'll turn into that guy. He had a members only. No, he had a leather jacket. I remember because
Pleather or leather?
no, it was leather. It was really nice. It was really like a biker leather
You probably
jacket.
could have bought like 5 shirts of that.
Yeah, probably some new underwear.
Priorities.
If his shirt had fucking mustard stains on it and holes in it, I can only imagine what his underwear and socks look like. Because we can see the shirt. He doesn't
Mustard
care to
stains and
change it.
holes.
Yeah, urine stains and. Oh yeah. So now we're only talking about these guys, but here's another good story,
Yeah, I try to stay away from that.
dude.
That's funny because we did an interview last night for a pod, or not a podcast. It's like a video blog, and I was wearing one of our shirts.
Uh-oh.
Wait, he filmed that?
yeah. I
didn't know he was filming it.
They're cool shirts though, man. It's like one of our like
And they're free.
our best shirt. Yes, exactly.
The first thing he did when we got those shirts, because I used to be in a band with that dude, the first thing he did, the box hits the floor, and he's fucking, boom, large, hell yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything. He needs a new shirt. Now he has 4.
Yeah.
I've always felt like really weird wearing our own band's shirt. Like forever. I just never did it. I don't know why. It's almost like there's this weird
I've
like
never worn my own shirt.
yeah, there's like almost this like weird subtle feeling of guilt fucking
Like,
kicks in.
it's not like LeBron James when he goes to the club, he's wearing a fucking LeBron James jersey.
Yeah.
Fans wear shirts of the people that they like.
Right. See,
I'm not knocking you.
He likes
Sorry.
it. He likes himself. Fuck. I don't.
I'm a fucking badass drummer. Yeah, our friend I could go on all night with funny stories with that guy. Because like everything that he did was just, it's like something you'd see in a fucking cartoon. It's like, how are you still alive? Hey, let's check out another song and get away from this story of my dirtball old friend. So, which one do you want to listen to?
Let's do Something's Gotta Give.
Something's Gotta Give. All right, here we go. I was like, what song was that? Something's Gotta Give by Scatterbox. That one's a little slower than the first one.
That's like the first slow song we've ever done, I think. Like slower.
It's good.
I like it. It's easy to play. It's, well, for me at least. It's 2 notes.
Is it? God, to be a bass
E and
player.
G, yep.
How the fuck did we get that done? How did that happen? How did we get away with that? That's weird.
Well, it's good that you guys are changing up. Not every song's fucking a mirror image of the song you just played. So throw that one in the middle, man. It's good. It sounds really good.
Thank you.
I love this album. Where'd you get this album art done? I love it.
So the photo was taken by a guy on fucking Reddit. Some guy posted it. Him and his buddies were setting a couch on fire, and
Is that what it is?
yeah, and it looked
now I
really
see
cool. And I emailed him on Reddit and just said, "Hey man, we're looking for ideas for cover art. What do you think?" And he said, "Go for it." He just wants some copies of the album, and so that turned into I got bored and started messing around with a lot of different ideas for cover art. And before I was finished and we ended up picking one, we had 9 different covers for this album, and we decided to do like a voting, put it to a vote, and we posted them all on Facebook and let people vote. And that one and another one got the highest amount of votes. Yeah, like 5 votes, and split between the 2. And we were gonna go with this one. And I finished all the layout for it, and it was finished and ready to go. And then, like, last minute, the guy that we had talked to, the other artwork that we had talked to there was a guy, if you guys ever heard of Bounty Hunter Clothing, I don't know, they endorse, like, Slayer and all these fucking metal bands, like Hatebreed and shit. The guy who runs it, he designed the actual picture that we were going to use for that cover. And he said yes at first. We got a verbal yes out of him over the phone. Then I tried to email him some shit just to get him to, put something in writing saying it was okay to use it.
Get sued down the road.
Yeah, it was going to hit iTunes and all over the place. And, it's like the guy just dropped off the face of the earth. I couldn't get a hold of him. So, like 2 days before we shipped this off to get made, I redid the entire layout and used the original photo. A guy named Charles took the photo.
Nice.
I don't even know his last name. He goes by Evil Charles. So, so thanks, Evil Charles.
It's awesome. Looks great, man. I wish I want one of these, but with my own band. That's like a trophy right there. It looks really good.
Well, if you do like 1,000 of them, I mean, you can get a really good. I mean, imprint. They'll cut you a really good deal. I mean, I think it's like. After shipping and everything, it's like nothing.
A couple bucks a CD or
something like that.
Ain't too bad. You want to talk about your label, or
sure?
So you actually have your own label. So
Yeah, Blackhouse Records. It's been around a really long time. Started that actually before I even joined Scatterbox. A friend of mine in a shitty little apartment. We decided to basically set money on fire, trying to promote local bands, and we did a lot of shows in Spokane, and that was mostly what it was. Is we were booking a lot of shows and just putting the Blackhouse logo and name on it, and then it kind of morphed into this weird. There was a band called Against All Odds that was looking to do like a 3-song single EP thing, and they wanted help getting it out, and we kind of grabbed onto that, and then put out a compilation with like a bunch of Northwest bands on it after that. That was the second release, and remarkably enough, Botch was on that. I don't know if you remember them, like Rocket from the Crypt, and I actually got some like decent bands to be a part of this thing. And then after that, I don't know. We just put out a bunch of shit over time, and now we're up to, I want to say, somewhere upwards of like 50 releases now.
Nice,
at this
dude.
point. And we do like 1 or 2, maybe 3 a year. Not a lot.
What bands are on the label?
Currently, right now that are active, you got Scatterbox, you got Moral Crux. That just because of guilt by association, I play drums for them too. Let's see, who else? We got Nightcap out of Chicago. Well, that's Chris, our old guitarist. kind of weird noise, ambient noise thing called Borax. We got a bunch of bands that are kind of defunct now. They're not even, some of them aren't even around anymore, but we've got a bunch of stuff from a Hollywood legend, old Spokane kind of noise band. Trying to think, Linus, band called Call Me Renegade, band called Sugar Skulls from Seattle, band called Sean. It's Sean is fucking crazy. It's the drummer of The Accused, and a guy named Luke who plays keyboards running through some crazy distortion shit and like a noise gate. It's this weird jazz crap. It's like jazz grindcore. It's insane. It's pretty cool. Then we did some spoken word reissues and some other stuff. So
It's cool, man. It's awesome.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, Charles Manson actually. Yeah, we released some shit that he's on.
He's really?
Yeah. And
Oh shit, huh?
yeah, Jello.
I'm waiting for the punchline. You actually did?
No. No, there was like years ago, back in I think like 87, 88, there was a spoken word album that a friend of ours, a guy named Eugene, put together for a label that he used to run called CFY out of California, and it was supposed to be as like a kind of a companion cassette tape or like a vinyl LP that came with like a magazine that he used to run called Birth of Tragedy, and it went out of print like for years. Like no one had seen this fucking thing for like 2 decades, and it had a bunch of shit on it that you couldn't get. Like you couldn't get it anywhere. It was only on that recording, and I dug it up, and I can't even remember how I found my copy, but I found a cassette copy of it, and I got a hold of him. And by that time, we'd already known each other because he plays in a band called Oxbow, and I used to work for the Neurosis guys like years ago, just helping them with their label. And I asked him, hey, I'm not doing anything right now. I've got an open release schedule. How do you feel about me re-releasing this? And he said, go for it. And yeah, it's got like Henry Rollins on it, like some old Henry Rollins stuff, and Charles Manson's on it.
It's like a piece of fucking American history.
Yeah, and like Lydia Lunch, and who the fuck else is on it? Jesus, Anton LaVey, the guy who started the Church of Satan, he's on that. Like Allen Ginsberg, and yeah, a bunch of people. So
I don't. Where can people buy this?
You can get it online. I mean, our stuff is distributed. Like all the Blackhouse stuff is distributed worldwide, so you can get it anywhere.
iTunes.
Yep, it's on everything we have is on iTunes. You can go to our website. You can order anything that we've ever released on CD. You can order through any record store. You just go in there and say, hey, if they don't stock it, that is, you can just be like, hey, I'm looking for this. It'll pull up in their systems. It's we had a pretty good deal with Lumberjack Mortem Distribution for a really long time, which is basically like, it's kind of like their indie broker division of like Warner Brothers. So I mean, it was kind of cool for Scatterbox too, because we needed to get our shit out. So we were kind of using and abusing the major label chain just to get our stuff into stores, but we didn't really have to deal with any of that bureaucracy that came along with it. So it's kind of cool.
That's awesome. I'd like to get a copy of that. I'm going to have to go on iTunes and grab it or something.
Yeah, I'll hook you up.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll send you a box of stuff.
Fuck yeah.
No problem. Yeah.
That's cool. So you guys got any shows coming up? Anything planned out?
Did you hear that? There's a couple. Yeah, they're in the works. I just got back from a trip with Moral Crux for a while. We had a release party last Wednesday, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, for the new album, and then we have. There's just stuff in the works. There's something we're trying to get something booked for just our hometown. We all of us live in Coeur d'Alene, so
you should totally fucking jump on Nightmare. You know,
what's that?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ooh,
through Monumental Booking. It's a 3-day festival.
I wonder if they'd have us.
Oh,
that's the crazy thing. We don't know any of the Monumental guys. Like we didn't.
I'm a Monumental guy.
Are you one of the guys that?
Well, I'm Ryan Levy's I'm one of his best. I'm like one of his really good friends. So I want to say best, but I don't know if he was gonna get mad at me.
Yeah, I always wondered how to get a hold of those guys. I see their name on everything.
Dude, he
now.
does a really good job. He really fucking promotes.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
and Nightmare's coming up, and I guarantee I'd love to have you guys on there. You guys are like a staple here, and
that'd be awesome.
In town, you've been holding it down for a long time.
Well, sounds like yeah, we're working on some stuff. We might be playing the Nightmare and
do it right now
for Christmas thing, and
let's get
some other stuff. No, we were gonna work on something in Coeur d'Alene. We're coordinating with Jay at Crawl Space to book a tour, and then some Northwest stuff here and there, and then the other one that actually we were talking about in the car was just for the fuck of it was to get on one of those Too Broke to Rock shows through
Yeah.
94.5 and just play at the Knitting Factory on a really nice sound system for a night for free. Like, fuck, why not?
Yeah.
And see if we can get some CDs out the door, and so we'll see what happens there.
If you are going to a Too Broke to Rock show, do everyone in the room a favor and put on some deodorant, because every show that I go to at Too Broke to Rock,
Yeah,
it's fucking reeks.
It's scary.
dude.
Yeah, I saw Baroness there for free. Like, that was crazy. Like, Baroness was just coming through, and they were like, "Well, we'll do this." And yeah, it was pretty
It's pretty smelly.
something different,
Yeah.
something special.
It's great. It's cool. I'm glad they actually do something like that, but all the fans need to fucking wash before the show.
We'll stop by like Safeway or something.
Yeah,
get a big box
throw
of
out samples of
travel-size
deodorant.
speed sticks and hand them out at the show.
Just start fucking
That's what we
throwing
should
axe
do.
bombs out there.
Just so free shit out.
Throw a sticker on it and be like, "Here you go." You got a smell.
Get the Scatterbox deodorant.
You ever heard of an axe bomb? Do it to your friend's car with the windows down. You take a bottle of Axe and put like fucking tape on it, so it's just spraying out and just throw it in their window, and they get in their car and it smells like a fucking douchebag for fucking like 3 weeks. That's how you really get
Like
your
the cast of Jersey Shore was hanging out in your buddy's
Right.
car.
and they're fist pumping.
It's all greasy in there and shit. Like,
I'm trying to get you guys on there, see if you can. There's a spot open. If there is, I'm sure he'd definitely
Cool.
toss you on.
Yeah, we'd love to be a part of that. When is there? What are the dates on that?
Fuck, dude, I think it's like, I know he said there's one on the 21st. I think that one's more dedicated towards like metalcore and metal. And
Sure.
like, he does like genres, because there's a bunch of different genres in
Right.
town. So I think the one that you guys would fit on is like the 13th or there he is, 13th or 12th or something like that.
Cool. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys another question when we text.
He's like Scatter who? Fuck those guys. Like,
So how do you guys write as a group? That's always the question we like to ask a lot of people. Like, how does it?
I don't usually just somebody comes up with an idea, pretty much. Justin had a big part in this new album. He wrote most of it. Like, he'd write a chorus, and then he'd show us, and we'd jam on it for a night. I just said jam. We'd work on it for a night, and then get the rest of the song down. Everybody would put their influence in. Basically that, just back and forth, and play a song for a couple weeks, and if we like it, we like it. If we want to change it, we change it. Yeah, it's just anybody has an idea, just play it, bring it to the table.
yeah, it seems like we abuse our guitarists usually. Maybe that's why so many of them quit, or like we have to kick them out, is because, or they establish drug problems, is because we put so much on them to like write the shit for us, and then we just build around it. No, I'm just kidding. No, we've just been really lucky. Like Justin, the newest guitarist we've had, like him and Mark, like work really well together. And Mark always comes up with different ideas, and we just kind of build off of them. And then miraculously enough, Tom, our singer, he doesn't write any lyrics until the album's like almost like ready to be released. Like it's, yeah, he did write a little bit of stuff while he was sitting there watching us practice, but like a lot of the time we'll finish all the music, and then he'll sit down at home and listen to it over and over again and write to it until he's got what he needs. And then like song titles are the last thing we come up with. I mean, we came up with song titles when I was doing the layout for the cover, because I needed to put song titles on there. And I was like, dude, you got to email me something here, because we got to put lyrics in here and shit. And yeah, and he just kind of like came up with something and emailed it to us, and that was it.
You were saying there was like working titles for like almost 2 years for the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. Like, I don't know. Like, we're playing a show, and like the set list is like a foreign language to me. Like, which one is this?
I don't recognize
Can you
any
play
of these
the
song
first
names.
couple notes really quick? Or
So where are we at? Oh,